Hey, good morning, kids. Wow, July 31st, 2018 here on the good ship Lily 2. Beautiful morning this morning out here on the bay. Absolutely beautiful out here. Not so much as a breath of wind, unfortunately, but just really, really nice. So last night at the after the live stream, you probably noticed back over here that the big schooner is gone, as is the America's class boats. Those Remy Martins, they were, looked like it said America's Cup 42 on the side of their boat. Hey, Steve's Vids, how you this morning? Better? I'm feeling a little better. Yep, not 100%, but feeling a little better. Anyhow, those Remy Martin 42s, both of them came up and anchored right near me last night in the dark. Unfortunately, it was too dark to get any pictures or film of them. And then really bright and early this morning, I heard them pulling their anchors and heading out. Again, almost too early to shoot any footage. Certainly, I wasn't up and around yet to get footage of them. But yeah, they had just anchored just right off the side of me over here. So I guess they came in and anchored and left the big schooner out there. I would have thought they would have stayed tight alongside of them last night, but I guess they opted to anchor out. So anyhow, they're all gone. Now, I did research them. They were here for the Long Island, New York Regatta, where they sailed around Long Island. Long Island's 30 miles north to south and 150 miles long. And they were in a race where they sailed around that, and I don't know who won or what the status of the race was or any of the real details about the race, except that those boats were participating in it. And that's about the extent of let me get you set up here. It's about the extent of what involvement I had. So just researched it so I could know why they were here and what they were doing. They must have had a party on the boat last night, because a lot of the guys from the yacht club, all those launches went out to the boat with just very few people on them. One boat had quite a few people on it from the yacht club, but the other three boats only had like 3 or 4 people each on them. And when they came back, that's all they had again. So I thought they were going to run the launches in there to load those people up to bring them into town to party at the yacht club or party at the restaurant or something, but apparently they just stayed on their boat. Kind of what you do out here in the anchorage, you know. You sit here all morning and you look around and you see what's going on and who's doing what. I guess it's no different than any other neighborhood, just a bit wetter and more aquatic. Let me check, see what I missed here in the chat. Hey, Steve said, yeah, I'm feeling a little better. Morning, Mama Stree, how you doing? Looks like Paul Farrell. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you here. Yep, feeling better this morning. Not 100%, feeling better. So I'm about to go for my morning swim. Haven't done that yet. Get a little bit of a late start this morning. I have a bit of a tickle in my throat. I had that yesterday. I have it again today. I'm not sure what it is, but a bit of a frog in my throat. Probably somewhat related to me not feeling great. So, but today I'm going to be heading over to Douglas's. I don't know. I may call that off since I'm not feeling great. I may call that off. I got there's a fish swimming by right there. See the bunker swimming by? That's a single bunker by itself. I don't know why there's one out here all by itself, but there's a single bunker all by itself swimming by. Like a little teeny tiny shark. See the fin sticking up. I don't know, that fish is only about 12 inches long or so, 12, 14 inches. Just seems odd that one is up on the surface and no others. Usually you see a whole big school of them swimming around. Actually, I'm kind of surprised there isn't more. I don't see any anywhere out on the bay. They've been all around the boats here where I've been anchored out all week. So, interesting stuff you see out here in the boatyard, you know, out here in the bay. So, anyhow, I just wanted to jump on. I ran my live stream badly last night. I started early, it ended early. Didn't feel good. I tried doing a late night. I just wasn't feeling it. So I ended that last night. Just not a good night for me. Out here on the bay though, it's a beautiful day this morning. Getting ready to go visit with Douglas. Going to go work on the welding today, get that finished. I got all the fiberglass work done. So once I get back from Douglas's today, tomorrow I guess I'm going to finish the sanding and install the push pits. Hopefully I'll get the sanding done, get them installed, get the lifelines up. I don't know if I'm going to do the netting from here. It would be a whole lot easier if I was up alongside of a dock to do that netting getting off the side of the boat. But we'll have to see how that goes. And then that brings me down to the other projects I got to do. I've got I need 1 day in the engine room for the air intake and an oil change and a fuel filter change. So I got 1 day in the engine room. I've got 1 day of trying to run down some electronics. Still waiting on a package from Sealy Shannon. He was talking about sending me a new depth finder, a used one that he took off an old boat. So I'm hoping that comes fairly soon. It would be nice to have that since mine's kind of crapped out. And then the mast lights, and that's about it. Engine work, that's it for things that really have to be done. There's a bunch of jobs that'd be nice to have done, but that's it for those jobs that have to be done. So anyhow, it looks like I missed something else in the chat. Of course, my phone's gotten dark again. Oh, apparently setting off the auto darkness focus thing didn't work. Are you going to video the welding? Yes, we are going to video the welding. You have to pull the boat to install the transducer. Yeah, I know that, and I may or may not have to replace the transducer. I'm going to see if I can't make the old one work, but I don't think I can because the new depth finder that he's sending me has side scan capabilities, and I'm sure that requires a specific transducer, and I don't have one, so I doubt it'll be able to use my existing transducer. And so I am really not looking forward to that because I do not have the funds to pull the boat. I haven't even called around here to find out what the prices are, but considering what the prices are just to have a night in a slip, I hate to imagine what the price is going to be to pull the boat out and to replace the transducer. I'm probably looking at $1,000 would be my guess, and certainly don't have the funds for that. So, of course, my other option would be I could make my way up to Maine or someplace that has a larger tidal flow, although I really wouldn't need much tidal flow. I would need about, well, actually I almost could do that here. If I could find a careening wall. Now a careening wall is sort of an interesting thing. What you do is you pull your boat up into the shallows at high tide, at real high tide, you get up and then you get your boat tied and secured to a wall or pilings or a dock or something so that your boat is going to stay tight up against the wall, and then as the tide goes down, your boat sits on your keel, and then the water level will drop, and as the water level drops, you can have access to the underside of your boat. So in my case, my transducer is only about 2 feet below the surface. So if I could get my boat someplace where I could drop the water by 2 feet, then that would be beneficial. Now the problem is that's putting 100% of the weight of the boat on just the keel, and that is not a good situation to have, but it can be done. It can be done. It's just not a great situation to do that. So not a great option, but you know, poor people have poor ways, so you do what you got to do sometimes. Historically, that's how people worked on the underside of their boats. They didn't have these travel lifts and all that kind of stuff. You know, you waited for high tide, you ran up in the shallow areas, and you waited for the tide to go out, and you did the work you needed to do, and then the tide came back and lifted you up, and back out you went again. It's just that kind of simple. So, but I really prefer not doing that because it puts a lot of strain on the keel boats today aren't necessarily designed for that like they used to be back in the day. So, especially mine, because it's just a fin keel. But, of course, most of the weight is in the keel anyway. So, I don't know. I'm going to do some more research on the cows, talk to some other people in the cow owners group about what their thoughts are about it, and then figure that out. That might be an option, a low-budget option. So, you can use, no, I'm having trouble seeing this. Man, I'm sorry. I have trouble seeing this. It helps me to get it down here in the dark. You have to pull, okay, you can use an in-hull transducer. Yeah, possibly. Lily, get, come on, I gotta see this. Since your hull is solid. Lily, get! Are you a member of the sailing club there? No, I'm not a member of the sailing club there. It's bolted on keel. No, it's not a bolted on keel. The Cal 229s are not bolted on. They're molded in fiberglass. It's all integrated. It's not bolted on. They didn't do that back then. That was something that came. Well, Cal didn't do it anyhow. So I don't know. We'll work that out. So anyhow, I just wanted to get on this morning, let everybody know we're alive and well, and planning on going over to Doug's, do the welding today. Pretty much going to shoot the day doing that. I got to run to the welding supply shop. I got to pick up the correct welding argon mix. I got to pick up some stainless steel welding wire, so I can set that up for Doug's welder, and then do the welding. The welding won't take very long at all, but getting all the stuff set up will take all day, probably. So, anyhow, Claire's going to pick me up at Town Dock at 11. I'm going to wait here until I hear from her. I've got all my stuff packed and ready to go, so as soon as she calls me and says she's going to be at the Town Dock, I can call the water taxi and get over there. But that's it. We're gonna finally get this welding done. So then I can get my push pit back together again and get my drill up and my rod holder back up, and I can get the netting back up, and that'll empty this lazarette, because a lot of that stuff is being stored down there temporarily, which means I can get more stuff out of the boat back here in the lazarette where it's supposed to be, which will pick up some more room, so that if I do have a guest on board, I've got some place for them to be, because right now it's a little crowded. So anyhow, kids, that's going to be it for now. I'm going to go ahead and end this. Please do like and subscribe. Check the description down below for links to my Patreon and PayPal should you want to contribute to the cause. But we'll have our normal live stream tonight at 7. I don't think I'm going to live stream the welding. I'm going to film it, but for a future video. But I do not think I'm going to what the hell? Good luck today. I thought Steve Vid was saying something else there, and it's hard for me to see the print here, so. Carl, have a great day. Okay, so, guys, we'll talk to you later. Be good, be careful, take good care of one another. We'll see you this evening. Bye.